Radio Hereford FC, the only station with full match commentaries of the Bulls. Every game, every week.
Hello and welcome to We're Going Down the Pub with me, Frank Williams, and my special guest yet again for the umpteenth time this season, the ground guru himself, Mr. Simon Wright.
Oh, boss, that's a very generous introduction there, Frank. I've been back in the back country now for about 2.5 hours, having got all the washing done. I'm trying to get back into the back country lingo now, because they're very fussy around here. They don't like Hereford talking in back country pubs. So there you go.
We're going to be talking about the Tiverton away game.
Bring it on
the 24th. But
yeah.
24th of September. But I'm going to start actually with a contribution we've had from Reg Reynolds.
Oh, right? Another special guest.
Yeah. I'll start off with his details for away days. The coach is going to leave Radford's at 9 a.m. Wilton Garage at 9:30, Monmouth 9:50, Chepstow 10:20, members £15, non-members £20. That sounds really good to me. And he said, personally, Tivy is more than worth a visit. The Panniers Market, the town centre is nice, the ground is way better than anything else in the south and west. Except Edgar Street, of course.
Well, that's accepted, yes.
He's put... Ladies Mead Park is easily the best ground in this league. It's better than Accrington in his view, but who aren't in this league. It's not difficult. Good clubhouse, lots of parking in nearby retail parks. It's 120 miles the way he goes.
Yeah.
About 2.5 hours. Town centre is at Park Hill Road, about a 10-minute walk from the ground. Past Tiverton Castle, or across the bridge to the White Ball, which is the Wetherspoons.
It is.
And he said that's decent enough. Now that's his contribution. Thank you for that, Red.
Well, you cut across. Well, I've nothing else to say now, have I? Covered it all. But
let's talk about Tiverton themselves.
Tivy, yeah,
they're not a bad side, are they? Currently, and we speak now.
As of now.
Yeah,
very
as
second,
of now.
Yeah, I'm not telling you when now is, but it's definitely as of now.
Well.
Yeah.
At the moment, Tiverton have played 6, won 3 and drawn 3.
Yeah.
They only conceded 3 goals. They're the only other unbeaten team.
Slimbridge.
Oh, and Slimbridge. Are they unbeaten?
Slimbridge, and their league and cup, they're unbeaten.
Right.
Sorry.
Well, that's...
Yeah,
they are.
Yeah.
But they've drawn a lot.
They have.
And they've also had a match postponed, of course. So that road accident on the fuel spillage or whatever it was.
Indeed.
There's a lot of fuel spillages about at the moment.
Oh, there's one today, isn't there?
Yeah, and ask Romulus. They'll know all about those. Yeah.
Good old Romulus.
So anyway, back to Tiverton.
Yeah.
Their home record is at the moment 1-1 and drawn 2. Probably fractionally better away from home. But anyway, what have you got to say about that?
Yes, Tivy. I mean, you do feel like they're a proper club, if you like. They've only ever been relegated twice in their history, and they've been going 100 years. FA Vars final, they've got there 3 times and won 2 of them.
2 years in succession, didn't they?
Yes, that's right. 2 years in a row. That must have been a wonderful period for them. Yeah. And for a personal note, they've got a well-developed website, which I'm afraid has excited me greatly, but then again I'm excited about strange things.
Yeah, because you don't have to visit the ground to find all the details.
Yeah.
And in fact you haven't visited the ground to find all these details.
Strictly speaking, I have. I did go there in 2005.
That's a long time ago.
Yeah. Well, we must at this point say thank you to Andy Lawrence, who did actually do the visit.
Yeah.
Well done, that man. Now, I know, frankly, also we ought to mention there's some of this info in Talking Ball 105. There won't be a home programme before Tiverton, Sutton replay permitting. But Keith will be including the information on the official site and Talking Ball site, so you don't have to scribble all this lot down.
But of course, one disadvantage that they have is that they've only got 2 Jamies in their squad.
Only 2 Jamies, yeah.
It's not good.
It's not good if you want to win stuff. No,
you've got to have a few Jamies.
You need a team full of Jamies, you really do. But they are a family club. almost worryingly a family club actually. The player coach is the manager's cousin,
Right.
and the manager's son plays in midfield.
Right. So it's a bit incestuous.
Yes,
isn't it, really?
yes. And it seems to happen in that part of the world. You think about Bridgewater, who've got Jamie Laird and his brother,
Yeah.
and their dad is the manager.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Who actually isn't called Jamie.
no, he's not.
Yeah.
No,
But they had a few Jamies. Well, Jamie Laird himself. Yeah.
Jamie Laird himself.
Yeah.
Bring it in.
Yeah, real
Yep.
family.
I mean, Reg touched on the relative quality, the merits of the ground.
I must admit,
yeah.
from the photographs I've seen,
It looks
the aerial
impressive,
shots,
doesn't it?
does look really nice, little compact little ground. Good capacity, 3,000.
Yeah, 3,000 plus.
Yeah, a lot of it undercover.
Yeah, well, they got cover on all four sides, which, hey, how often does that happen, you know? 3 covered terraces and a stand with 500 plus seats. Flat concrete paths everywhere, which admit the schools content. And when you think Tivy, it's a town of only 15,000 people, and they've got, that ground holds 3,000,
Yeah.
it's very impressive.
But yet again, average gates 216. Well, average gates 260
Yeah.
must mean they're getting gates of between 150 and 400, 500.
Yeah.
It's probably, for a town that size.
It is, and it's
Isn't
very
that
much
bad?
top-end support for that division.
Yeah.
I mean, one point that Andy Lawrence particularly wanted to stress, all the rubbish bins are blue.
The rubbish
Bins are blue. Yeah, now Andy's really keen that should get mentioned.
Why should that be relevant?
Maybe he's just demonstrating his powers of observation.
You
so-
know what Keith is like at editing out anything that's blue on our broadcast, don't you?
Like it, do like it. Do we want to...
You listeners out there do not know the
The
problems
problems
we
we
have.
have to get past, Keith, my word, goodness me, talk about censorship. He'd work well in Russia with Keith, but there you go. Do you want to talk about parking?
Yes.
Let's talk about parking. Now, the number one rule is don't park on the industrial estate next door because you will get clamped. Okay, that's something that Andy has been told by several officials, so don't do it. There is some car parking at the ground. There appears to be car parking on two sides, which is a really good start. Across the road is the X Leisure Centre, as in the River X.
Yeah.
That's-
It doesn't mean it's was a leisure centre and it's no longer is.
It's still very much, yes, sorry.
the X, yeah.
Yeah, EXE Leisure Centre.
But it's not far from a town centre, this.
No, it isn't, but
And there is town centre park.
there is, but X Leisure Centre has a free car park and it's across the road, so you probably want to look at that.
Definitely.
And also, just across the road is another rugby club. I don't know what it is with rugby clubs, but
Well, it's the southwest, isn't it?
it is. Yeah, I mean they're
Barnstable,
Barnstable,
Bideford,
yeah.
Tiverton, they're all rugby. It's a rugby area.
Why they got to come and crowd our football pitches, I don't know, but it's just strange things, the egg chasers. But typical egg chasers, they're at home on the same day, which is rather annoying. But at least there's a main road between the two grounds, so there won't be any chance of an innocence.
It could be very interesting if balls go out of both grounds at the same time and end up bouncing down your carriageway. One of them bouncing awkwardly because it's egg-shaped,
as
and
it
the other
will
one
do,
rolling off of its own. That could be quite interesting. And what would be even more interesting if they return to the grounds in the wrong order.
Oh, right. You're
That would be
moving
really
on a flight of
interesting,
fantasy here now. But there is a Hereford supporter at Barnstable who can claim to have been hit by a rugby ball.
At Barnstable.
At Barnstable, yeah.
Right.
Because they are next door to each other.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So that's probably quite unique, but there you go.
But it probably won't happen at Tiverton.
No, very
But
unlikely.
car parking.
No, okay, that's the car parking, but I mean that should be ample, but there is a nearby large Morrison store which you can maybe check out if you're desperate. But you may end up having to buy a boot full of Suffolk cider or something similar.
Oh, no.
Yeah, if you want to leave your car there. But if you're desperate, have a look at that one.
Right. Okay, let's move on then.
Move on rapidly. Good old refreshments.
Refreshments.
Yeah.
Well, food and beer is why a lot of people go on these long trips.
Yeah. They've got a very smart lounge
Yeah.
inside the grounds. Okay. Very smart chairs. Bar looks really, really smart. Now, I've asked the club what beer they were going to stock, and interestingly, they say they don't know because they rotate them so often. And I thought, yeah, that's good. I thought that's really
Yes, yeah, that might mean
Yeah.
because they shifted Yeah, that's good.
Well,
yeah,
I was
yeah.
thinking, vaguely took the real L's rotating.
Does that mean that's probably because they have to chuck it away because they haven't been drunk?
Oh, you're being negative here, mate.
Well, no, I'm
You're not thinking high getting the wretched John
But they
Smiths
do have
again,
a
are you?
decent home support, so
Yes.
you would think that
Discerning,
Well, 260 average should mean that they do shift quite a bit of beer at a weekend.
It's
these clubs like when we went to Romulus, when you know that the beer was left it's probably been in those pipes for a fortnight because there's only 90 people at the matches, and therefore the barrels aren't getting rotated.
Well, it is also doubles up as a function room, so they use it during the week. So that's another facility.
Yeah.
What they do stock is Aston Manor cider.
Well, that's from Villa Park.
Well, it is. I mean,
Aston Manor Brewery
it is.
next to Villa
I know.
And they ship it all the way down there.
Yeah, well, sort of.
So, okay,
yeah.
so now we know that people in Tiverton also have very little taste.
Okay. Well, there's got to be something of the night about them, let's be honest, in that location.
Aston Manor.
Yeah.
I mean, Aston Manor, we used to, around here, I don't know, 20 years ago, when you used to go out and buy 3-litre plastic bottles of beer from the off-licence for sort of 7p or whatever it was then.
Yeah.
It was always Aston Manor, wasn't it?
Well, I've researched them because I'm a bit sad like that. There's two really interesting points. Firstly, they claim it's produced in a factory in Tiverton. Well, not factory, brewery in Tiverton. But if you look at what the ingredients are, it uses Herefordshire apples.
What?
Yeah, so, it's not exactly southern cider at all, is it?
Oh, you might give that a try.
I think, well, it is
Might be
Herefordshire
worth a
apples,
try,
but it's the Villa Park element is a bit unhappy, but there you go. But anyway, if you don't fancy, going to the ground, there's lots of alternatives. I mean, I'll rattle off a few. The nearest pub, and let's face it, a lot of people can't be bothered to go further than the nearest pub.
Yeah.
We're looking at the Queen's Head, and that's 250 yards away.
Right.
But it's an old-fashioned boozer, and it sells Doon Bar, which sadly is a bit downbeat, but there you go.
Well, I don't know. A lot of people like Doon Bar.
Oh, gosh, okay. If you say so, okay.
No, I say it. A lot of people like Doon Bar. I'm not saying it's any good or that I like it. What I'm saying is, a lot of people like Doon Bar.
Right, if you like Doon Bar, you're going to be well happy there. Okay, the Half Moon pub by the bus station, that does St Austell tribute. Now, I like that. Well, I try that in Barnstaple. They've got a guest and they've got hot food. The guest beer.
Cornish beers are good.
Yes. Okay, I've not tried a few of them last time, so I'm agreeing with you. Spoons, Reg has already touched on the White Ball Inn. They've only got Ruddles, Abbott's and Dartmoor Jail Ale, whatever that is, on Hample.
It'll be cheap and cheerful.
Exactly.
And the one thing about Spoons, if you're hungry, you do know. I mean, personally, I'm not a huge fan of Wetherspoon's food, but it doesn't matter which Wetherspoons you go in, it's always consistently consistently the same.
Yes, it
Actually,
is.
The sirloin steaks have improved.
Okay. They also stock Suffolk cider in that particular spoons. It's sort of everywhere.
What is
isn't
it about Suffolk? We have to do we'll do a programme sometime, a research programme on Suffolk cider because it crops up at every round.
Okay. Now there is a Totten,
yes. They made a big thing about it.
They did. And it actually wasn't too bad, but it's not the real thing, is it? But I've got to slip in a word of warning here, Frank. Now, if you're travelling in a group and any of the group are tractor lovers, you need to distract them in the walk from the ground to the pub, because between the two there's a tractor repair shop. You've got to be careful.
This is heading somewhere.
Yeah, well, it's sort of the Shire equivalent of a kid in a sweet shop, You can imagine that tractor fiend, not being able to help themselves, being pulled into that shop to discuss the merits of John Deere against Ford. You've got to be careful here, haven't you?
It's like the farmer whose wife left him.
Right.
Yeah, but he didn't know, and when he got home that night, he had a John Deere letter on it.
Oh. You can tell I've been in the Shire a few days and thinking about tractors. But in terms of food, and we've touched on Spoon's offering, there is a couple of recommended choices. There's the Great British Fish and Chip Shop in West X Street. Now, the club recommend this. It's quite unusual.
Is that because their own food is rubbish again?
Oh, no. I haven't tried it, mate. So,
no, but I presume the ground have got the usual
the usual stuff. Yeah. And and there's all those blue litter bins if you need them for the surplus. It is a mile walk, but apparently it's worth it.
Right.
Or a new one just popped in. Elsie May's Cafe in the Leisure Centre. Now that maybe not sound a fantastic name.
But it's close to the ground.
It's close to the ground, and it's an offshoot of a popular restaurant in the town centre. It's one of those sort of old-fashioned, beloved
Presumably
restaurants.
the proximity of the leisure centre and possibly the football and the rugby grounds as a reason for it being put there.
Yeah, yeah.
And so therefore you can judge its popularity by the length of the queues. If there's nobody queuing, steer clear. If there's a good queue, it's probably worthwhile.
Yeah, I'm liking the sound of that, mate. Liking the sound of that. Yay, so that is pretty much the guide to TV.
Whichever way you look at it, it's going to be a nice visit, but it is the best part of 120 miles.
It is.
Most of which is motorway. It's only 7 miles.
7 miles it isn't. Reg is obviously a very good choice, because if you're going by rail, it's a bit torturous, okay? It's an optional 2 or sometimes 3 changes via Newport, Bristol, etc. And that gets you to Tiverton Parkway, when that's 7 miles outside Tivy. Now,
why do they put a major railway station 7 miles from the town that it serves?
It's a strange one, isn't it? But maybe it's an afterthought. But
Beeching got it wrong in the 60s. He didn't close down the right lines. That's the one he should have closed down.
Maybe.
Tiverton railway station is 7 miles from Tiverton.
Yeah, but it's got a lovely pond.
What, Tiverton or the railway?
Well, the railway station has a lovely pond next to it. As I discovered when I had to drop a Hereford supporter there back after Barnstaple game. Now,
Did you fish him out again?
Well, you've got a lot of time to admire it, because there's only an hourly bus service to Tiverton from there.
So the railway station of Tiverton's railway station is 7 miles from Tiverton, and there's only a bus every hour into the town.
Yeah, so you can go for a paddle by the pond, but yeah.
Presumably then there's a lot of fishermen use that.
It's only a small pond, but it's a very nice one.
Yeah, so if you get onto a train and the coach is full of people with fishing rods and creels and all that sort of thing, you say, oh, you're going to Tiverton, are you, mate?
Do you know, people actually listen to this stuff that you and I talk about, but the simple option, if you've got to go by train, get a taxi, because even if you do get on this hourly bus service, there's a 15-minute walk to the other end.
There is a better option.
Go by Reg.
Absolutely. And if it means Reg putting on another coach, that's always better for everybody. Always better for everybody.
Gosh, I hope we're on commission with Reg. We'll do it.
Well, you've got to look at it sensibly, haven't you? What you want. If you're not going to drive there,
how are you going to get there?
How are you going to get there?
Yeah.
And we know Luke Cotton, our old mucker who came along last week.
Provide us with a live audience.
He gets a train everywhere, and even to home matches. But I mean, it swings and roundabouts, because when we go to places like Salisbury and Tottenham and whatever,
that's all day.
It's all for us. But actually, from Birmingham, it isn't so bad by train. So it swings and roundabouts, and. But one of these days I'll offer him a lift. That's really good.
Another thanks to Andy Lawrence for doing all the legwork.
Absolutely, thank you, Andrew.
And spotting them bins.
Blue bins.
Yeah.
I'm going to work out the significance of that, and we'll probably let you know at some point. Well, we'll let you know after the game.
Yeah.
We will get back to you, and when we do our next broadcast after the Tiverton game, we will fill you in on why blue bins are worth a mention.
Watch this space.
This is Radio Hereford FC, the home of the Bulls. Match Day Live.